I've lost 40 pounds as a lazy carnivore, and in today's video, I want to share 6 simple concepts that will prove to you that less is more for weight loss. I personally see it with working with women in my own community. Weight loss was always hard for me because after 6 years on a vegan diet, I had so much healing to do before I even had the strength to get in shape. Not only that, but I'm always short on time, and up until a few months ago, I hated exercise. I never truly understood how people can go from couch potato or office dwellers to gym rats who work out 5 days a week. This isn't even mentioning the stress of going on a diet. I feel like most of us in the carnivore community secretly look at weight loss as something to just get over with. It's kind of like being in the back of a race and thinking that if I just do something super intense, go all in for just a short period of time to catch up with everyone else, I could eventually slow down and just rest and somehow make it sustainable. When I slowed down, I would have just gone back to square one because weight loss is more like a marathon than a sprint. So instead of catching up just to fall behind again and regain my weight, I started leaning into working smarter, not harder. Starting off with the first simple concept. What if I told you that laziness is an advantage when it comes to exercise? Not everyone or anyone can exercise like Dr. Sean Baker, like Dr. Anthony Chafee. And that's okay because of something mind blowing that I have been personally implementing in my life. Now, how many of you have heard the saying, abs are made in the kitchen? Not in the gym. Well, it turns out that your metabolic rate will be based 80% on nutrition and 20% on exercise. Because most of you watching this video are carnivore, you're actually 80% there, whether you believe it or not. Because you're feeding your body the best possible fuel it needs to thrive. If you're not already carnivore, going animal-based, a little bit more ketovore is a great place to start. But what about that last 20%? Is it really necessary on carnivore? And if you're lazy, busy, or just simply unable to work out properly right now because you're healing, what can you do to get those 20% of the results? So here is the less is more thing you need to pay attention to. That 20% of weight loss is actually two parts. One part, structured exercise, one part, non-structured exercise. Most of us assume that structured exercise is the only kind of exercise, which is like going to the gym, biking, Pilates, HIIT classes, hiking. Anything that is just intentional is going to be more structural exercise. But actually, structured exercise only contributes about 5% to our metabolic rate. And that's only if you're consistent with your efforts. So that means that non-structured exercise accounts for 15% of our metabolic rate, which is literally 3 times more important than structured exercise. What is non-structured exercise? It's basically any type of walking, waving our arms, making gestures as we talk, fidgeting, shaking our legs when we're sitting down. Even if you're going to the gym 1, 2, or even 3 hours a day, it doesn't compensate for 14 hours of sitting. I think we can all agree that taking a relaxing neighborhood stroll with the family or your partner is a lazier form of exercise than something like CrossFit. But the truth is, adding more sustainable, non structured movement to your day compounds into a huge metabolic boost over time. For those of you who want to track your progress, I recommend downloading a step app on your phone or getting a smartwatch that can track steps. For those of you with an iPhone, the health app already in your phone does it for you automatically. First, track how many steps you're getting in right now, just living your everyday life without making any changes. This is going to be your sufficient goal for steps every day. Then I recommend setting an upper goal by adding 1,000 steps to your sufficient goal. When you're able to meet your upper goal for 2 weeks straight, then your upper goal becomes your new lower goal. So if you're getting in 2,000 steps a day right now, try aiming for 3,000 steps for 2 weeks straight. Once you reach 2 weeks straight of 3,000 steps, go ahead and make a new goal of 4,000 steps for 2 weeks straight after that. Ultimately, we want to be able to get anywhere between 6,000 and 12,000 steps a day for all of you ambitious carnivores. But if you're unable to meet your upper goal for 2 weeks straight, don't worry. The most important thing here is to just be consistent. And this way, the bar is set low enough that it minimizes the all or nothing thinking of, I ruined my day, so I might as well start tomorrow. Just stick to your sufficient steps for as long as you need and keep trying because you're still contributing to 15% of your metabolic rate in quite a big way. So I actually started using a standing desk. I actually enjoy walking on a treadmill while I am working on my laptop standing. Taking a super slow pace of around 2 to 3 miles per hour while I work on my laptop is just like the sweet spot for me to get in my steps and also get in lots of work. It's just the perfect killer combo for me right now. Now, beyond contributing to that 15% of my metabolic rate, I also noticed that my hunger levels don't spike nearly as much as when I do structured exercise like my at-home workouts. So for those of you struggling with cravings or still deep in adaptation, this really makes sticking to carnivore so much easier while giving your metabolism a boost at the same time. But what is less is more for the other 80% of the metabolic period? Well, we know it's nutrition. You guys already know my stance on nutrition. I mean, I truly believe carnivore diet is just the best possible way for us humans to get healthy. I wanted to touch on something else for the second simple habit for weight loss. Some of my favorite nutrition experts say to cut carbs and increase protein and fat. But there are others who say carbs don't matter, or that it's all about fasting, or maybe even having only fruits and vegetables in your diet. So since there's so much opposition on how you should be eating, I'm going to talk a little bit about how you should be drinking. Not talking about alcohol here, folks. Firstly, did you know that early stages of dehydration manifest as hunger and not thirst? So by drinking a glass of water up front when you're hungry, in case it was actually thirst, not hunger, you're avoiding unnecessary cravings altogether. This helps you kill two birds with one stone, lowering the chance of misinterpreting your body's signals regardless of what diet you're on, and promoting better hydration. And I get it, a lot of you guys are eating a high-fat diet just like me. You don't really have to worry too much about dehydration because the fat is probably the most hydrating thing you can eat. But for my new carnivores especially, it's not just about chugging water. And sometimes you truly are hungry, so don't chug a whole gallon of water every time you're hungry. Just drink a small glass of water and see how you feel. In conjunction with drinking water, especially if you're new, I do recommend being aware that electrolytes could be extremely handy as you adapt. Now, electrolytes, specifically potassium, sodium, and magnesium, are critical for hydration on a zero-carb diet. They actually help maintain fluid balance. They support nerve function and regulate muscle contractions, which can be especially important as you cut down the carbs and go carnivore. You all can either just salt your drinks, your water, your meals a little bit more heavier with a high-quality salt, or you can lean on a high-quality electrolyte supplement like this one. This is the one that I always recommend ever since day one, but only this blue teal colored box. This is labeled raw unflavored because it truly is just the 3 electrolytes our body needs. No stevia, no other questionable ingredients. Here's what the little packets look like. You just rip one open, pour it in whatever you're drinking, mix it up, drink it down, and you're good to go. You all can get a free sample pack like this, which does include a raw unflavored one with any purchase by going to the URL shown on the screen, drinklmnt.com/SBGAL. I've also linked it down below. Now, the second lazy drinking habit is aimed right at all of you coffee lovers, and I am one of them. There's some debate as to whether or not you should be drinking coffee at all, but let me tell you something. I've experimented with drinking coffee every single day, and then I experimented with cutting it out altogether. Now, for me personally, it's not the coffee that matters. It's actually the timing of when I drink the coffee. Here's the scoop. Saving your coffee for after breakfast can be a huge weight loss hack because it helps regulate your cortisol levels. I cannot emphasize this enough, especially for all of my busy mamas, women who are just busy, go getters, and you wake up first thing in the morning, you are totally fasted because when we sleep, we're fasted. You wake up and the first thing you do is drink coffee on a fasted body and right at the top of the morning when honestly your body needs a little bit of loving and care the most. When you first wake up, your body is naturally in a state of fasting and your cortisol levels are elevated, which means your body is already primed to burn fat for energy. Now, if you have coffee on an empty stomach, it can elevate your cortisol even more, which puts your body in fight or flight mode. And this happens first thing in the morning. So why does this matter for fat loss? Because the body prioritizes immediate energy needs and survival by conserving resources. And that means your body's fat storage. So by eating your breakfast first, especially one that's rich in protein and healthy animal fats, you help stabilize those hormones and provide your body with the nutrient it needs. Then, when you enjoy your coffee after eating that amazing meal, you're not only supporting your metabolism, but also making it so much easier to keep your cravings in check throughout the day. As an added benefit, I personally have noticed that saving my morning black coffee until after eating a fatty breakfast enhanced the way my body processed the caffeine, which gave me steady energy without any of the jitters. Finally, the last lazy habit that helped me lose 40 pounds as a lazy carnivore is maybe the laziest habit of all. It's sleep. Sleep is critical for weight loss because it directly influences your metabolism and hormone balance. When you're well rested, your body is better able to regulate hunger hormones like ghrelin and leptin, which control everything about your appetite and satiety. Plus, adequate sleep supports muscle recovery and maintains a healthy resting metabolic rate, ensuring that you burn calories more efficiently throughout the day by just fidgeting, by just breathing, by just moving. Sleep optimization is something that I have been really passionate about the last few years, especially because I've gotten busier and busier. I have tried almost every sleep optimization hack in the book. Instead of wasting your time going through all 30 or 40 different sleep hacks out there, I'll just give you the 4 simple strategies you can start using today that are guaranteed to help you fall asleep faster, deeper, and more restfully. Number 1 is the fact that while you may understand the concept of weekdays and weekends, your body doesn't care. All it wants from you is to be predictable. So give that to your mother nature. All 7 days of the week, wake up at the same time. Typically, this will be your weekday wake up time. So you may be groggy if you tend to go to sleep late on weekend nights. But if you keep sticking to waking up at that same time in the morning, you will also start feeling sleepy sooner, earlier in the day. After 1 to 2 weeks, you'll truly be surprised at how smoothly you can fall asleep and wake up at the same time on the dot, naturally, no alarm needed. Number 2 is something I've talked about a lot on this channel, and it's eating earlier in the day. Your body functions best when it receives fuel during daylight hours, as this aligns with our natural circadian rhythm. So try to have a satisfying breakfast and really try to have a breakfast, because I could go in so much detail with this simple breakfast hack by implementing breakfast in my daily routine. I'll save it for another time. In fact, I'm going to do a whole series of videos to help you guys reach the fat loss and body recomposition of your dreams. When it comes to eating, try your best to have a breakfast. It is the most effective way to rev up that metabolism. And then try your best to eat a lunch. By avoiding late night meals and having your last meal of the day 5 or more hours before bedtime, you are allowing your digestive system to really settle, which makes it easier for you to fall asleep and stay asleep. I personally find that I not only feel more energized during the day, but I also wake up feeling way more refreshed and ready to tackle the morning. Number 3 is a very simple dual-barreled routine. The first thing to do every single morning is to get sunlight into your eyes immediately after waking up. This will really help reset your internal clock and signal to your body that it's time to be alert. Luckily, sunlight is plentiful, at least here in Vegas, but if you're living somewhere that doesn't get a lot of natural light, like Seattle, I recommend investing in a light therapy lamp. These lamps simulate natural sunlight and can be an effective way to boost your mood and energy levels first thing in the morning. Moving on to the last thing I do every single night is blue blocking glasses. These glasses are designed to filter out blue light emitted by screens, artificial lighting, TVs, laptops, iPads, iPhones. This blue light can interfere with the production of melatonin. So what happens when our melatonin is not properly being produced during the time it needs to be produced, which is right before bed? We are wired and tired. We feel like we want to sleep, but our body doesn't have the hormone production of melatonin to support us to wind down and fall asleep. So if you ever have struggle falling asleep, you wake up in the middle of the night and you find it so difficult to fall back asleep, take a look at how much time you are spending in front of blue light. This is why I religiously wear my deep red light blocking glasses. Yes, everything you look at is red, but it's worth it when I get perfect sleep and amazing energy the next day. Another thing that is so cheap that you all should really do today is order red light bulbs. No, not the red light therapy, fancy schmancy expensive ones. It's literally $6 on Amazon. Swap out all of your bedroom nightstand lights for red light bulbs. Thank me later, because you're going to immediately feel like you're going into a trance when your entire bedroom is red. I'll link everything down below in the description. I have so much confidence in a carnivore lifestyle for every single type of person, but especially for my busy women watching who are struggling with their energy, hair loss, and having trouble losing the extra weight. So with that being said, I wanted to share something super exciting, and this is for you ladies especially. I've been hosting free women's webinars just to learn what the women in the carnivore community need. I've actually created a women's fat loss program with my colleague and friend, Coach Rebecca Heischman. She knows every single thing about fat loss and body recomposition without wrecking the hormones and metabolism. The key there is without wrecking the hormones and metabolism. And Rebecca and I have created a tailor-made program specifically made for us women so that you can lose your fat, keep the fat loss, and still have healthy hormones and an extremely fired up metabolism. This is truly what all women hope to achieve. And I'm pretty confident that Rebecca and I have discovered the secrets to achieve it. So if you're interested in any of what I just shared, our next free women's webinar is going to be coming up soon. So really make sure you open up the description box down below, click on the link, register for my next free women's webinar with Rebecca. And if you guys are interested in working directly with us, you will have an opportunity to do so only after joining a free webinar. See you in the next video. SVG out.